Welcome back to the Just As I Am podcast. It's your host, as always, Nicole. And I know it's been a while, once again, but today let's relax because we are fixing to take a vacation. You're probably confused. How can we take a vacation by listening to a podcast? Well, I'm not fixing to play some ukulele or Disney music or something, but what we're going to talk about today is Vacation Bible School. So stick with me for a while. I'm going to tell you about this year's VBS. It was great. It was fun. I thought the theme was pretty good and the lessons were really good. I had a really good group of kids this year. I taught first and second again. This is my 8th year teaching VBS, I think. I'd have to go back and do the math, but no, 7. It's one of those. But anyways, so this year the theme was Breaker Rock Beach. And if you ask my mom, because my mom is the person who is in charge of VBS at our church, she takes it very seriously. She is worried about next year's theme before she even completed with this year's VBS. She is a mad woman when it comes to VBS in the best way. It always pays off. So, it was Breaker Rock Beach. And typically you would think, oh, like I told her when I first heard it, I said, I'm going to make it like Lilo and Stitch themed. And she was like, but it's not tropical. So Breaker Rock Beach is not tropical. It is more like East Coast, Maryland, New York, northern East Coast, right? Right. So, but for some reason, whenever I hear that, I think of like Forrest Gump, even though that's not in the same vicinity, right? Anyways, so Breaker Rock Beach, lighthouses are the main fad. She made 2 lighthouses, in fact. She went to like Lowe's or Home Depot or something, and she got 2 of those big concrete barrels. All of my construction handyman guys out there, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. So that was the body of her lighthouse, and she found some solar lights that actually spun. So we had a legit lighthouse at church. It was fantastic. Of course, she had to recharge her lights every night, but it was really cool. I had to go on many a VBS shopping trips for her. We raided too many Dollar Trees to count for these special little clear candy jars because they fit perfect on the craft for the lighthouse craft for crafts. And because she wanted the wood looking contact paper, I had to get her that too. Those are the 2 main things that she was wanting. But me, and I know they always give you a theme to make your room. Do I ever go with that theme? No. Do I even read what that theme is in the book? No. So anyways, so I made my room just aquatic, I think. As always, my Cricut is my best friend. I love using it to cut out cardstock. So I cut out jellyfish, seashells, what else did I? Lighthouses, lobsters. Cut out a lot of lobsters. And then I made, because, we always got to get on Pinterest. I made some of these jellyfish that I saw. So I got some paper bowls and I painted them according. And then I got the ribbon and then I painted my jellyfish. And then I hung them from the ceiling and they were really cute. And I got my friends to help me make an octopus. He is orange. His name is Orville and I love him. And throughout the week, we would see if Orville was awake or if he was asleep, because my kids kept looking at him and going, he doesn't have any eyes. So finally I just started telling him, because I liked him without eyes, but apparently he needs eyes. So I told them, I said, well, he's just resting right now. Maybe he'll wake up, later in the week. So he opened his eyes and he closed them a lot during the week. And it was a fun game for me because I'd like to see how long it took them to stick their eyes back, or to figure out that his eyes were open. And then the biggest thing I did, I put special borders on my bulletin boards, because I found this pretty, very shimmery, dark blue bulletin board in our resource room. And I was like, okay, great. I'll just put this on both of them. Well, I needed 12 pieces and I only had 10. So I only got to do one in that blue, and then I had to improvise for the other one. So for the other one, I put yellow on the sides and the top. And then on the bottom, I layered it with the plain blue, and then I put the sparkly blue on it. It's not what I wanted, it's not what I envisioned, but it was cute, it was fine. My biggest thing I did was I got a big old piece of white paper, I think that I had left over from past VBS's, probably, most likely. Maybe last year's VBS, actually. I don't know. But I took it and I found a picture online and I painted a lighthouse scene on it. And I was very proud, because if you know me, I have third grade artistic skills, and then probably not even that, but I like to give myself enough credit at least in that way. But I thought it was really cute. I gave it the lighthouse. I gave it some rocks to sit upon. I gave it some water. I even gave it a window, put a little light in there. I thought it was spectacular. But anyways, so during VBS, I had 5 girls, and then eventually I had one boy, Sid, and he came in. He was in our class the last 2 because he thought he would be sneaky on night 3 and go to the grade above what he should have been in. But, you always get caught. But, so anyways, so the first lesson was about Adam and Eve and how they disobeyed God and how they had to suffer the consequences for it. The second day was, I think it was about Daniel. Was it about Daniel? It was about Daniel, but it wasn't no. Yes, Daniel, but it wasn't Daniel in the lion's den. It was Daniel and his friends getting, abducted, I guess you could say, and then saying, hey, let's eat only vegetables and water for a week or 2, and then turns out that they're smarter and wiser and blah 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 than the other ones. So then day 3 was the rich man who ran to Jesus and was asking, how do I get into heaven? And Jesus told him, he was like, sell all of your possessions and come with me. But the rich man did not do as he was advised, and kept everything and did not follow Jesus. poor choices. And then we go to, where did we go? John. We talked about John. And we talked about how wonderful John was and how John was really good friends with Jesus, and how John, would go to the ends of the earth for Jesus. And not only that, he got to write about Jesus, but he also got to meet Jesus firsthand and know him personally. And then the last day, we talked about Paul and how Paul, once he met Jesus, changed his life around. And I was trying to explain to the kids that Paul's name was Saul, and he, I always love to give more to the story, but then you're like, okay, how much of this is child appropriate? So I was like, Paul's name used to be Saul, and when he was Saul, he did not do very good things. And I said, those Christians he protects now, he did not protect then. And finally, we were talking about how he wrote a lot of the New Testament. And I read one of our verses, and it was from Ephesians, I believe. And I was like, see, Paul wrote this. And they were all just flabbergasted. They were like, no way. They were like, Paul wrote this. You're kidding. Like, it was just a huge, like, whoa to them, which was amazing. But we had the ultimate theme, but then we had, our daily things, and like one of them was, the main thing was God's truth never changes. I'm trying to recall what like our daily things were, but one of them was like, we all need Jesus. Another one was, VBS was like 3 weeks ago, so 2 weeks ago, whatever. It was a minute ago, so I'm trying to remember. We all need Jesus. Jesus is the only way to get into heaven, or something like that. Was that one? If you are a VBSer and you're listening, don't be ashamed of me. I'm trying to remember, but I'm struggling to. Anyways, so it was things like that. And one of my things that I liked was people say, but then it was like what God says. So one of the things was it's sad that I have to pause to remember what I just said. I liked it. One of the things was people said that, I guess anybody can get into heaven or whatever. And then God says, the only way to heaven is through me. And I was trying to push that. Like I did it a little bit. I was trying to get the kids to understand that, this is how the world is, but this is how God is. And this is how he sees you. And I hope we hit home with that at least. But I know they really loved the stories. And we went over the morals of the stories and the reasonings and the happenings and all of this and that. And they loved all of it. And I told them, let's see, they kept asking me, they're like, how much longer? Or I said something about, tomorrow, and they were like, oh, we come back tomorrow. I said, yes. Like, is that a good thing? Are you mad? Are you glad? And then they'd say, how many more days do we have? And I'd say, we have like 4, we have 2, whatever, and they'd be like, yay! And then I would say there was only 1 day left or 2 days left, and they're like, oh, I don't want this to end. I want to be here forever. So that makes your heart happy that they want to be in that kind of an environment. But they love all of it, but the girls' favorite things was crafts, and Sid's favorite thing was snack. That boy could eat you out of a house and home, and I'm not even the one who was providing the food. But they were such smart kiddos. They loved crafts. I guess they loved missions. They didn't really talk about missions. And then I would forget to ask about missions, because really they'd come straight from missions to snack. So they're busy eating, so I never asked about so it never came up, and I felt guilty. And then they would go from crafts to missions to snack to music, and a lot of my girls are dancers. They like to do the cheerleading and things like that, and so they were on it. Like, they were slaying the game, and it was amazing to see them sing the music, for them to know the moves, for them to pay attention and care, because some kids, you can't get them to do anything, and these ones had no trouble whatsoever. We would play the VBS music during snack, and they'd be singing and dancing while they were eating, and it was really sweet. But I loved it. We were so excited it was over, and then we were also happy. I mean, that came out backwards. We were so excited that it was over. We were happy it ended, but then we were also sad. It was like the bittersweet, But all good things must come to an end, so we can finish out the year and come back for VBS next year. Fabulous. We already got the theme for that one, and I'm really kind of excited for it. You could say it might be a Bug's Life theme or a Journey 2 theme, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but the internet can be your friend. That's fine. But anyways, so the main verse for the week was Romans 12:2. And the whole message was to not conform to the world, but to be transformed. So don't just melt and mold to what's happening around you, but be transformed in God's love and His truth and His power and all of those things. So Romans 12:2, I'm going to read you two different versions. This is CSB version, I believe. Do not be conformed to this age, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may discern what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will to God. And then my second version is NLT, and it says, if I can find it, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. So both explain a lot, and I feel like the second one explains the first one a little more, but we loved VBS. We tried to get the message to the kids, and they loved it, and we're so excited for VBS next year, and I hope you enjoyed this long. I could talk about it for much, much, much longer, but you don't want to sit here for that long to hear about this, probably. Go and join a VBS now, because I know a lot of churches are just now doing theirs, but we always do ours the 1st of June. So now I would like for you to hear my kiddos' interviews about them from the week of VBS and hear their thoughts and opinions and feelings about it. So, enjoy! What is your name?
Ainsley.
And what was your favorite all-time part of VBS this year?
Crafts, because I got to be with my grandma.
And what was your favorite Bible story from Bible study that we went over?
John.
And what did you like about that?
That Jesus and John were friends.
Thank you, Ainsley. And what is your name?
Nariah.
And what was your favorite all-time part of VBS this year?
Crafts.
And what was your favorite Bible story from Bible study?
John 3:16.
John. What did you like about our story with John?
I like that they're friends.
Thank you, Naraya. And what is your name?
Lyric.
And what was your favorite all-time part of VBS?
Art.
You liked crafts. What was your favorite Bible story from Bible study?
Adam and Eve.
And what did you like about that story?
What Adam and Eve did after God made Eve.
Thank you so much, Lyric. And what is your name?
Amaya.
And what was your favorite all-time part of VBS?
Art.
And what was your favorite Bible story from Bible study?
Adam and Eve.
And why did you like that story so much?
Because they lied so much.
Because they disobeyed? Thanks, Amaya. What's your name?
Sid.
And Sid, what was your favorite part of VBS?
Definitely snack.
Absolutely. And what was your favorite Bible story from when you were here at VBS?
The rich man.
And why did you like that story?
Because it included a rich man.
What did you like about that rich man?
He was rich.
And what did he end up doing?
Staying rich.
Because he didn't...
Obey.
No, he didn't do what?
God said. Jesus said.
What Sid is trying to say is that he didn't give up his things for heaven. Thank you, Sydney.